Prime Minister.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Mr. Speaker, I feel like I'm in the presence of students. And on an exam, I don't think you would pass the exam with those answers. Mr. Speaker, as the IMF confirmed yesterday, Canada will have the second fastest growth in the G7 this year. As the IMF confirmed yesterday, we have the best fiscal position in the G7. Point final. As we have confirmed, we have the highest foreign direct investment per capita in the world.
Hear, hear.
Pierre Poilievre walked into Parliament on Wednesday thinking he had the ammunition. He called Carney very badly educated in economics days earlier, on record, in an interview. And then Carney walked into the House, held a majority government for the first time, had IMF projections backing him up, and waited. Poilievre came at him 5 times on gas taxes, 5 times. Same question, slightly different packaging. And Carney answered it the same way every time, with numbers, with his own central bank record, and finally, with a public humiliation that the room absolutely loved. Here's what made this worse for Poilievre. He's not operating from a position of strength right now. 4 of his own MPs have defected to the Liberal bench. His own communications director quit. He lost the seat he held for over 2 decades. The Conservative caucus is posting loyalty pledges on social media because that is what you do when the rot is showing. So when Poilievre tried to land his education attack in the House, Carney had the perfect setup. PhD in economics, former central bank governor of 2 G7 countries, majority government, IMF backing. This wasn't a close fight. Watch what happens.
By more than $3 billion because this government can count, Mr. Speaker. This government can count.
Questions orales. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, there are 3 federal taxes, 3 federal Liberal taxes on gas. Excise tax, the new carbon tax from the Liberal Prime Minister, and for clean fuel, and GST that is applicable to both. After the increase in the cost of living, the Prime Minister is suspending just one of the taxes after Conservative pressure. Why not follow the Conservative plan to save 25 cents a litre for consumers by eliminating all Liberal taxes all year?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the government has a comprehensive plan to increase affordability for Canadians, including suspending the excise tax on gas, and second of all, through a tax cut for the middle class, benefits for groceries and other essentials, as well as all other programs that saves $20,000 per year per family.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The middle class and lower classes are suffering under this Liberal government even worse than a year ago, according to StatsCan, that announces that the gap between the richest and the others is as big as ever. This Prime Minister is printing money. It creates inflation, which increases the haves of billionaires and also increases people's expenditures and costs. These gas taxes are a tax on everything. Why does the Prime Minister not want to eliminate all Liberal gas taxes in order to help those who need it the most in Canada? Mr. Speaker, first of all, I'm the Prime Minister of Canada, not the Prime Minister, the Premier of Ontario, Premier of Quebec, Premier of British Columbia. The biggest taxes on gas are provincial taxes. First point. Second point, with regards to inflation here in Canada, it is lower than the Bank of Canada's target, and the increase in Canadian salaries is 4.7% per year, Mr. Speaker. Twice inflation rate.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
There are 3 Liberal taxes on gasoline. There's the excise tax. There's the new Liberal carbon tax that they call the fuel standard. And then they charge the GST on those other taxes. Because of Conservative pressure, this Prime Minister...
The honourable member for Hamilton, Ancaster, I believe it is far too loud during question period. Therefore, the honourable leader of the opposition may start from the top.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. There are 3 Liberal taxes on gasoline. Number 1, there's the excise tax. Then there's the new Liberal carbon tax they call the fuel standard. And then they charge the GST on those other 2 taxes. Now, with Canada having the highest grocery price inflation in the G7 and paying 20% more at the pumps, we put the pressure on the Prime Minister, and he's partially backed down, removing only one of those taxes and only for a third of the year. Why doesn't he follow our full plan to reduce gas prices by 25 cents a litre by getting rid of all the taxes for all the year?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what the government is proposing is to cut the excise tax, 10 cents a litre for gasoline, 4 cents on diesel. We've already cut the consumer carbon tax, 18 cents per litre. We are recycling all the excess revenues from higher oil prices to Canadians. What we are not doing is what the Leader of the Opposition is proposing, which is to substantially increase the deficit, something he's regularly against, by more than $3 billion, because this government can count, Mr. Speaker. This government can count.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
What he is not doing is increasing the deficit. It's only up by 100% since he took office, Mr. Speaker. Does he even read his own budget? Or does he want Canadians not to know what's inside it? In fact, all the money printing that he does, because he's famous for causing inflation, he's made a career out of it. Statistics Canada has made it clear that the gap between rich and poor is now greater than it's ever been in a report published just this week. One of the biggest taxes on the poor is the gas tax. Instead of just removing a third of the tax for the third of the year, why not get rid of the entire Liberal tax on gas for the whole year?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, one thing I've learned in my economics education is you've got to study history and you've got to look at numbers. My record as a central bank governor is inflation less than 2% at the Bank of Canada, inflation less than 2% at the Bank of England. But let's get back to where we are today, which is wages in this country are growing at more than twice the rate of inflation, and I'll spell it out for the member opposite. That means Canadians are getting ahead.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
It's clear that he's learned all the wrong lessons. Not only did he cause the housing crisis in London, not only did he cause the worst inflation in the G7 when he was the bank governor over there, he advised Justin Trudeau to print money here, causing inflation. And since arriving in Canada, he's given us the worst food price inflation in the G7, the worst investment in the G7, the worst housing costs in the G7, the worst household debt in the G7. So why doesn't he learn his lesson from all the failed economic experiments that only benefit insiders with tax havens like him, and get rid of all the taxes on gas for all of the year?
What just happened in that chamber was not a normal question period debate. Poilievre came in with a gas tax attack. Simple, populist, designed to make Carney look out of touch. It should have worked. Fuel prices are genuinely up. People are genuinely hurting, and partial relief for only part of the year is a real vulnerability. But Poilievre fired that argument 6 times in a row and got nowhere because Carney didn't blink. He cited the IMF. He cited wages growing at twice the inflation rate. He cited his own central bank record. And when Poilievre tried to use Carney's education against him, Carney turned it into a punchline that the entire Liberal caucus laughed at out loud. Now zoom out. This is the first major showdown since Carney got his majority. The first time these two faced off with the real power dynamic on display. Carney walked in as prime minister with a majority and left looking like a man in complete control of his house, literally. And Poilievre walked in as a leader who has already lost 4 of his own MPs to that same prime minister, who lost his own seat, whose communications director just quit, and who still hasn't landed a clean hit. The Carney line, "To learn a lesson, you have to have ears to hear," wasn't just a joke. It was a reminder that the people who used to follow Poilievre are now sitting across the aisle. That image is going to run for a while. You can keep your talking points if you want. But when your own caucus is filing loyalty pledges just to prove they haven't left yet, the floor is already shifting under your feet. If this video hit, smash like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. This fight is just getting started.